Hey people, this video doesn't really have much of a plan or a script or anything, so if I start to ramble and bore you to death, then feel free to run along back to the woods or something and play with your forest friends or whatever else you do whenever you're not watching YouTube videos. I've been thinking about this end of decade thing, you know, the crossing over from 2009 to 2010, and it's kind of interesting to think about all the stuff that is going to happen before we have another one of these end-of-decade experiences, if you will. I mean, I'm 21 now, and I can't even begin to count all of the things that have happened since I was 11 years old. I mean, I remember December 31st of 1999, waiting up till midnight to see the year 2000 come along. Everyone was kind of terrified of this big thing that was supposed to happen in the year 2000. I think it was like all the clocks were supposed to shut down, or the world was supposed to end or something. All the tabloids were reporting some sort of a world ending that was going to happen on the first day of 2000. And I even remember that my family had stored up a whole attic full of food, like canned food and buckets of grains and all like barrels of water that were giant all the way up to my head. I mean, we were prepared for like World War or whatever was going to happen in the year 2000, and then the year 2000 happened and we were all sitting there and we looked around and the power didn't go out, and we realized that it wasn't really going to be as bad as we thought it was. I mean, whenever I was younger, I used to have this radio show that was in like 25 states and countries. It was nationally syndicated, and I don't have that anymore. I can't even remember really what it was like. It's weird to think of how big the radio show was to me at some point in my life, and how it's pretty much nothing to me now besides a little point on my resume and something that goes in my website bio. And it just goes to show that these things that you think are big and important at some point in your life may not really mean much of anything just a few years later. I mean, I started writing all those years ago, and then that turned into a real book, and I lived with my parents, and then I moved to Dallas, and I went to college, and I started TwilightGuy.com, which totally changed my life. And then I went to the Twilight premiere, and I went to the DVD release, and I met all of these wonderful and great friends, and then I fell in love, I fell out of love, I wrote songs, and I moved to California. And I mean, it's crazy to think of all the stuff that's happened in just 10 years. I just got my passport booklet here in the mail a few days ago, and it says it doesn't expire for 10 years. And I was telling my friend, you know, unless this thing gets stolen, I'm gonna have the same passport booklet by the time I'm 31 years old. Whenever I go to renew this passport here, I could be driving down to the post office with my kids in the car because I wanna go register their passports at the same time and save time in a trip. And the future Mrs. Nation could be sitting in the passenger seat with the flip camera, filming me being a nutcase and all the other little mini nations being ridiculous while I'm trying to drive. And it's weird saying that because it's probably gonna be true 10 years from now. And I don't see any reason, aside from YouTube shutting down, why I would stop filming these vlogs. So that means, aside from some gigantic scandal causing all of you to abandon me, you guys will probably be following along with all this happening. I mean, it's interesting to watch these people on YouTube whenever you get into their lives, like Shay Carl and Charles Trippy. I mean, Charles Trippy and Allie, they just got engaged this year on camera, and Shay Carl and Kate Alette announced they're having another kid. 10 years from now, that kid's gonna be almost 10 years old, and there might be little trippy kids running around. If my video insights have any accuracy at all, most of you are between the ages of 12 and 25, and that means that in the next 10 years, you guys will probably get degrees, you might get married, you might have kids, or buy a house, or write songs, or write books, or star in movies, or there's so many crazy things that you guys will probably do in the next 10 years. 10 years is a long time. I wonder if 10 years from now I'll actually be able to come back and watch this video and remember what it was like 10 years ago whenever I was 21. I could pretty much look at myself 10 years in the future, right now, look at myself in the eye and ask, did it happen as you expected it? What was different? What surprised you after the year 2010? And what did you not know was going to happen back when you were filming this video and talking to yourself at age 21 on December 31st of 2009? What surprised you after that day? Some people like to write these things in journals, but I prefer to actually look at my 31-year-old self on camera 10 years in the future from today and ask myself, did you accomplish the things that you wanted? Are you happy with your life? Did you ever get that bestseller you wanted? Have they made it into a movie yet? Where are you living now? Because it's quite sunny here in California on the last day of 2009. Can you even remember filming this video? Did you become dull and stupid and give up on YouTube because you grew up and thought that it was lame? Because Caleb, if it's the day before 2020 and you did that, then you're not even the person I know and you're an idiot. And I'm you from 10 years before. Because I am sitting here now and looking back on this past decade, and you had better have made these next 10 years at least as good as those were. Do you understand? And I hope you've cut that hair by now too. What do you want to tell yourself 10 years from now? What do you think is going to happen in this next decade? I mean, I'm not talking about who's going to be president or which country blows up which or what's going to happen in the world. I'm talking about where do you think you guys will be 10 years from now? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? I'm mostly hoping when 2020 comes around, I'll be able to look back and watch this video and I'll be able to look at myself in the eye and tell myself from 10 years ago that I didn't let myself down. Hope you guys have a great new year. I'll see you later.